time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jacob.
90% of this podcast is improv. So,
is it?
yeah, I would argue that 90%. It seems like a good number. So,
You know, our openers, I've started being very formulaic
what do you mean?
because like you'll say something and then I'm always like, is it? Or, you know, something along those lines where it just kind of sounds the same.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I'm supposed to be yes and, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yes,
okay, try it again.
Okay.
Let's ready. Hold on, ready. Let's start back at the top. Ready? The pink lemon and the red tiger. Okay,
What
ready?
is that? Is that like a thing they say? Pink lemon and the red tiger? All right, I don't even know. Like, how does Okay.
Okay, ready?
Oh man,
Go.
I'm so bad at improv. You got to start though, because I don't know how to start improv. Like,
But you got to just start. Do the thing you just did.
I'd say about 90% of this podcast is improv. Yeah.
Yes and.
And damn, dude, I don't think you're supposed to like physically say yes and. I think you're supposed to continue. Like the bit is that like
I know.
you're supposed to be like yeah right. And I think that 90% of the time we're funny. That's how you could have continued that. And it's
90s high.
90 is a little bit too high for how funny we are.
90s high.
I would say yeah.
69.
69 works for me too. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Now listen, do we want to talk about that, or are we just gonna let it go?
69?
Yeah.
It's a fun position in theory. Execution.
To me, there are far too many variables that go into it.
Okay.
Because like, who's supposed to be on top?
I mean, I don't think there's a set rule on who's
Well, I
supposed
mean,
to be on.
theoretically, I think it's more better.
I guess it just depends
for
on
the-
how
for the-
spicy you're feeling that night, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you don't want to suffocate.
Maybe you
Your,
do.
you know.
You know?
Or, no, I'm not. You don't want to suffocate her. You know, hit her
Mm-hmm.
fucking larynx. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, give me a lot of credit, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm saying the weight of you.
oh, okay. Yeah,
If
so,
you're on
okay.
top, the weight
yeah.
of you is like touching her larynx, and like she can't really maneuver. you know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, like, it's,
So
again,
like
it's,
you need to be on the bottom.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah, which is like,
What
why
a
do I
fucking
get
opener.
why do I get to relax? You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair.
But it's just like, again, it's you bust it out when you're feeling spicy, but like the thing is like Christina is the same height as me, so like we've got a discrepancy there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's just like I equate it. Listen, I'm not gonna complain about it at all.
Mhm.
Never, would never do that. But to me, it's a lot like cooking and eating dinner at the same time.
I do that all the time though.
It's hard to do though.
Yeah, I guess I mean, mainly because you got to make sure that the food isn't like raw as you're eating it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, there's a metaphor there somewhere, right?
yeah, and then it's all at the same time. It's like, I think it should be reserved for like Amazonian women and tiny men. You know what I mean?
Short Kings rise up.
Yeah, short kings rise up. Because I think it's like they're uniquely equipped to do that position standing. I think.
Sure.
And I think that truly, I think standing doing that is like probably better.
Standing?
Yeah, man.
Brother, what kind of strength do you have? Who's going to be upside down?
That's why I said specifically Amazonian women and tiny men, because it's like they're polar opposites. So they
So
attract.
you want to be held upside down.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be hilarious. That'd be great. Hold me. Hold me. That's what I'm saying. But
Doing more than holding you, just controlling you.
yeah, that's fine.
The worst tool of all time is what?
Oh man.
The Allen wrench.
Yeah, I would argue that it definitely
Dude.
is.
Because Christina bought some chairs for the back and the back porch. And she's like, I hate this tool because I had to take Zoe to gymnastics. And she was like, just complaining about it. I'm like, she's like, this is the worst tool ever invented. And I'm like, yeah, that's why it's free in every piece of furniture.
Yeah, it's literally just like a sliver of metal, and it's like,
It
here
sucks.
you go. You know.
But like, what's worse is they give you like this little, you're familiar with about this size, right?
Yeah.
And then like, you just gotta like cram it into these small, tiny crevices, and you're just like, and you can't get
Yeah.
a good spin on it. You can't get a good grip on it. It's just, you know
And
what I
it's
mean? And
what's the
it
worst? The
takes
bathroom,
10 minutes. Yeah,
that bathroom equipment that comes with, like the little Allen wrench. And it's like you're trying to like you're against the wall and you're trying to screw it, tighten it against the wall.
and like the
Impossible.
most you can move is like this.
Yeah. And so you're standing there for 6 hours tightening the same nut.
And then you're getting irritated because it's taking so long, and you're uncomfortable, and you're in a bind. You're just like,
And that's not to say that's not even including the fact that like it's probably going to strip the bolt that you're screwing in, the nut, the screw that you're screwing. It's going to
what
strip.
is that? Like the Allen wrench has got to be made of like the most malleable, like
It's
softest metal of all time.
probably like barium,
Aluminium.
Yeah, maybe aluminium. Maybe
Now listen,
tin.
shouts out to Jim and the UK people over there and how they say aluminum.
I mean, I honestly like think
I
it can
don't
go either way. Like, aluminium's
aluminium,
fine.
aluminum. That's one of those where like I actually don't have a preference. There's certain words like when I spell theater, I spell it R-E instead of E-R. Theater.
Theatre.
It's real pretentious.
Theatre is fine.
Theatre. But they get all up in arms about that. Those people over there. Those people
Yeah.
being the British.
And they act like they got some kind of superiority because like they were here before everybody
They
else.
act like
you
they
know?
invented the damn language or some
Yeah,
shit.
dude. And you didn't. Latins did, dude. You guys just changed it a little bit.
Well, I mean, I think they invented English.
I don't know.
Who's to say? Buddy, we've hit that point. We're done. We've already jumped the shark. I think that it would be acceptable and sort of like, yeah, I get it. Yes, and I understand why Sydney Sweeney would sell bath soap.
Okay.
Okay. But it has thus begun a terrible, awful,
Don't tell me there's more.
no good trend. And it's not even like, oh, someone else is selling their bathwater. It is even worse. Okay. Do you know who the Prince of Darkness is?
It's Ozzy Osbourne, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Ozzy Osbourne.
There's so many dark people that would be able to fit in that spot, but I think Ozzy is the first one to claim it, right?
Ozzy
So-
is the Prince of Darkness, the same man who, bit a head off a bat,
Which
with
is-
rabies,
yeah.
and had rabies and did all that stuff.
which is like he didn't know it was a real.
He didn't know
thought it was a
he
plastic.
thought it was a
bat.
rubber bat. Okay, great. There's all that. Man is known to garner some controversy in the 70s and 80s. Then it's sort of like all became like he became really docile and just kind of like a shell of himself and like this goofy moron because of the show, right?
Yeah.
That's what you know him as. Oh, Sharon. You know
But at
that.
the same time, it's like maybe that's just how he's always been, you know?
Reality TV is faker than pro wrestling, bro.
Yeah, I mean we know that, but I'm just saying like maybe that's just who he really is, and then like the person he was on stage was the character he was
Well,
playing.
I mean, to be fair, he did copious amounts of drugs.
Yeah, and so he probably was docile from all like I don't know.
He
what
wasn't
drugs are,
docile.
but-
I just mean his behavior was docile. He was a lunatic.
That's fair.
He was just a lunatic at home. Anywho, Ozzy Osbourne
Man,
Is
the myth, the
partnering-
legend.
is partnering with Liquid Death, your favorite.
I already hate it. I already hate
That
it.
eye roll. Just kidding.
I already hate it. It's fucking.
This just reminds me of Tampa. You remember where like I sweet talked myself into a bottle of water instead of a Liquid Death. 'cause
And I
was
had to
like,
purchase
won't-
one because they didn't.
It's like,
they didn't
I
have
won't
bottled
drink that.
water at this event,
No, they did. It just wasn't for fucking people.
and
It's
it's
for workers.
disgusting.
Anyway,
I just think that girl was like the first person to sell bottled water that she had been drinking out of. I feel like you were ready to buy any bottled water she had. Like,
well,
hey,
I was just adamant. I was like, I'm not buying Liquid Death. Like, I'm not doing it. It's disgusting.
should have been that way too. But I
And that brings us to today's sponsor, Liquid Death.
yeah, I just roll into an ad roll. It's so
I know, right? So, anyways, Ozzy is partnered with Liquid Death to sell empty iced tea cans that he drank from and crushed for the low, low price of redacted. We'll get to it. A limited supply of 10, to be exact, were available to purchase, and they have thus sold out. And basically, the whole point is so that there is the ad, which premiered on June 17th, shows the process by which traces of Ozzy's DNA were then collected and details on the liquid death cans, each signed by Ozzy himself, how to preserve it in order to save the DNA. So therefore, you can possibly clone him in the future.
So that's the. Am I missing it? So that's the whole thing that like
That's the gimmick.
They
That's the
wanted
gimmick.
you to be able to eventually clone. It wasn't like okay.
It is an empty can.
Yeah.
And there's 10 of them. He has signed them all. There's a sticker with a barcode on it. It tells you when it was collected, who collected it, who signed it, which sample it is. Really old man signature. He is 76. And they asked him, Ozzy, what do you want people to do with it? He said, clone me, you bastards.
Why though? Okay,
But there is a note that says the DNA integrity and cloning results are not guaranteed in fine print.
I feel like it's more insane than the bathwater. Like, let's go back to bathwater, please. Like, we're buying empty cans
Now,
of like I'd only assume spiked iced tea, right?
well, it's empty. They're empty and crushed. Now,
that's what I'm saying.
okay, so there's only 10 of them as opposed to 250.
Okay.
Or whatever. I was 500 for Sydney Sweeney. Okay, great. Do you know how much they were a piece?
The bars of soap.
No, the cans.
Oh man, I can only imagine like $10,000.
$450 each.
That's stupid. Still, I feel like I overpriced it. They're still overpriced at $450.
Now, when you think about it, you don't know this. You're not in the know, right?
No, I'm not
Do you know how Ozzy got his start?
singing
Yeah, but for whom?
Metallica.
Black Sabbath.
I was close. They're like
Almost.
cousins.
Most people would tell you that Black Sabbath invented metal, right? Because they were like the creators essentially. It wasn't considered or called metal at the time with Black Sabbath, but that was like the roots. That is where it started. You can get into semantics of like, well, it started with the blues in 1933. Okay, great, but like the band, right? Okay, so in July 5th, in Birmingham, England, where he is from, where Black Sabbath originated, is the final show. It's the final show of all time. The final Black Sabbath show, the final Ozzy show. He's done.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, this is all just part.
It's all a bit. It's all a work.
It's a fucking cog in the machine, baby.
Yeah.
It's marketing. We're talking about it, and you just keep going.
I still like. What is the resale value on that? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think it's gonna go for? Here,
luckily, it is verified. The thing is it comes in this tube, right? And it comes in like it comes in
graded.
a tube.
Essentially, you get a graded Ozzy Osbourne drinking.
Not graded, but is essentially it is.
It will be eventually.
It's in a cylinder, like it's in a cylinder. It's it's sealed up. The can is in there. It's signed and it has the barcode on there. So like, I think the only way that you can keep its integrity is if you have a tamper-proof thing on there, and then you can guarantee it. Because like if you have the tamper-proof and you tear it, then it's been messed with, and therefore you can't guarantee that the said liquid can. Who gives a shit?
It's so again, it's stupid. It's just like the stupidest shit. Like it feels dumb. It feels so dumb.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. But the thing is if someone came up to you and they're like, "We're gonna take your DNA,
I don't like it. Go away.
and we're gonna sell it for $450 each, and you get 80% of the profit," are you gonna do it?
No,
Yes,
I'm
you
not. I don't want my
Yes, you would.
DNA out there. That's weird. It's just
Your
like
DNA's already out there.
yeah, but it's like because I
Have you ever
wanted
done
it
one of
to
those
be out there.
33andMe things?
No, I wouldn't do one of
Ancestry.com?
those. No, because you know what
Your
happened?
DNA's
Do you know what happened at 33andMe, Ancestry.com? Yeah,
They sold all your
they
shit.
bankrupt, and now they sold your shit to the third parties, and so you thought that like, iPhone and Google bad, and government coming for some microchips. No, you just literally like you signed up for it, and then they sold your literal DNA to like whoever wants it, highest bidder. You know what I mean? So it's like, but this is dumb. I don't like it.
Which is this more dumb than the bathwater?
Yeah, I do believe that
Why?
that's because with the bath soap, you at least got something that you could use. You're
But no one's
literally,
going to use it. But I guess in theory,
but
it is
in
more
theory,
practical.
yeah, you've purchased something in which you can then use. You can turn around and use it to clean yourself, which you probably should. Anybody out there who bought the bath water soap, fucking use it, please. Because I'm sure that you're not the type of person that needs to hoard that. I'm sure that you bought this bath soap to use, hopefully. But
It
you've
just sucks
purchased
that
an empty can with what you hope is Ozzy Osbourne's crusty lip DNA on it, right? His backwash is maybe hopefully in that can. He's probably got some chewing tobacco. I assume he partakes in chewing tobacco. I don't know. But whatever the case, you've purchased an empty can for $450, and you're going to go home that night and you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to say, I purchased an empty can with an old man's DNA in it. I've done some good
yeah, but if
today.
you're an Ozzy super fan, you're one of 10 people in the world.
You probably need to take your medication today. Your arthritis is going to start flaring up if you.
Listen,
if
I
you,
like Ozzy.
Hey, that's fine. But if you're a super fan, I'm assuming you're 90 years old at least. Maybe 80. I'll give it to you.
You would have to be younger than Ozzy.
Okay, you might be 65. I'm sorry, everybody out there, I'm dating you too
So,
much.
You could be, I would say, mid 60s.
You're old, is what I'm saying. If you're an Ozzy Osbourne super fan, I'm sorry. I don't know how to break it to you. Okay.
What's wrong with that?
That-
Better
I'm
being a
nothing-
Naruto super fan at 65.
Hey, that's fair, but it's again Naruto's like theoretically like 20 years old at least, so you know it's still relevant. They're still making content for.
But by the
Naruto,
time
right?
you're 60,
that's fine. The people can call me old, buddy. If I'm 60 years old,
No
liking
one's calling you-
Naruto, I'm
I
gonna still
don't
be
think-
doing the hands. I'm gonna be out there like doing the
That's the
hands on
thing.
the shit, running with my hands behind my back. I'm gonna be throwing kunai at people. Okay, at 60 years old, buddy, I'll be happy about it. So.
that's fine. Then why can't they be happy that they're Ozzy?
They can be happy, sure, but why are they spending $450 fucking dollars on a stupid ass
Because
empty
that's a
can?
generation of people that has disposable income.
Yeah, I guess so. And like this is what they're gonna instead of fixing the economy or fixing the planet, they're gonna blow it on fucking Aussie spit. Is what they're gonna
Now
do.
listen.
So
Listen.
I don't mean to be ornery about it. Okay, I'm sorry being
No, it's fine.
ornery about
Listen, it's okay. Speaking of money, and sometimes the little man wins, right? You know, we got one a couple years ago with submarine, right?
Hell
And we
yeah,
all
dude. Yeah, you remember those times? Those were man. When we could all rally around billionaires freaking dying in a submarine at the bottom of the fucking ocean. That was
Hold on.
fun. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to blow our load.
No,
Sorry.
no. There's another one. Luigi.
Luigi Mangione, hey, shouts out. Sorry you're in prison, buddy, but hey, you did kill somebody, so theoretically you should be there.
What off the top of your head is the most pretentious rich man sport? Like, what is something that if you are super rich and you tell people, I play blank on every Saturday, what's it going to be?
Hunting people for sport.
No.
Oh, does that have to be a real sport? Sorry.
Like a real sport.
I still think that happens. I still think they go out to an island all together and they find a couple of people who are probably lower income.
It's very European.
Yeah, they launch it out. Polo probably is what I would guess.
Bingo.
Man, that's a sport, honestly, that you don't hear enough about. But at the same time,
It's because rich people play
it's
it.
a bunch of rich people on horses because they can afford the horses is what the thing is. Yeah.
Now, in the craziest, most Final Destination publicity stuff.
I don't like it. We can go to the next story. I don't like anything Final Destination. It gives me anxiety,
No,
but let's
you
hear it
will
out.
like
Okay.
this. You like this.
I hope.
Do you know who Sanjay Kapoor is?
Oh, that low key. I think it's just the last name Kapoor because I'm sure that there's a lot of people with the last name Kapoor that I've heard of, but it sounds vaguely familiar.
53-year-old
I'm Googling
Indian auto part. Not yet.
Okay, okay. I'll Google it.
Indian auto part billionaire. Tragically died
Oh man.
while playing polo because he swallowed a bee.
Damn, dude. That's too simple for a Final Destination though, because it's like that's just.
But it is very just like, whoa.
Yeah, because you would think you're a billionaire. You don't have fucking insulin laying around or not insulin, epinephrine laying around if you get stung by a bee.
So witnesses say that the 53-year-old shouted, I swallowed something, and then he toppled over and died. You'd imagine that the anaphylactic shock was somehow involved, followed by a heart attack, though none of that has yet been confirmed. Kapoor was generationally rich after the
Oh, so he
2015
was
death.
gifted all of his cash, is what they meant to say there.
After the 2015 death of his father, Sanjay took the reins of Sona Comstar, a massive global auto parts empire responsible for supplying the booming electric vehicle market, with 12 factories worldwide and over a third of its 412 billion businesses tied to EV components. The company confirmed his death on social media.
That's what's baffling to me though. Is just the fact that like he says I swallowed something and then kills over and dies immediately just from like swallowing a bee. That's crazy. That's like that feels like too fast. I didn't know that you could get stung by a bee that fast and like die.
If you're allergic to bees.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought like there's a swelling up phase, you know. But I guess if you swallow it, it's like you're right there by the heart, I suppose, and its heart just exploded.
Now,
I don't know.
You think, oh, well, that's oh, blah blah blah. Here's the thing: Kapoor was a staple of the India's celebrity gossip pages, thanks to his deeply toxic marriage to Bollywood actress Charisma Kapoor. Their 13-year marriage ended in a mess of horrific allegations.
Okay.
Kapoor accused Kapoor of attempting to auction off all of her friends during their honeymoon.
God damn.
There was a history of physical abuse and instructing his mother to physically assault his wife during her pregnancy.
So, guy's not good.
Do you mean that billionaires are terrible people?
I would argue there's probably a Venn diagram of like the amount of money you make and like how shitty of a person you are, right? I'd assume. I don't know. But yeah, that I would argue that yes, to answer your question, billionaires might just be shitty people. Yeah.
Now, this is not the first time that bees have taken a life in what is now the growing, unintentionally absurd micro genre of insect-induced athlete demises, right? Because just last year, cyclists in both Brazil and the Bay Area reportedly died after inhaling bees mid-ride. And like, I guess I get it though, because like you're.
But it feels like a growing.
Close your fucking mouth, bro.
Now I'm terrified to go for a run tomorrow, dude. Like that's like scary. I'm not allergic to bees though, so I think I'm okay. But
that you know of.
I mean, like I think I was allergic when I was young, but I think I've grown out of it. I've been stung by wasps like multiple times, but
a bee is not a wasp.
Fuck, they're the same though, aren't they? I mean, like venom wise,
is a skunk and a cat the same?
They're like in the same family, aren't they? Like they're.
Does it mean they're the same?
But yeah, but I mean, that's fair. I think a badger and a skunk are that.
A wasp is not a bee.
Yeah, I know, but I think like stingers.
Wasp and bees don't like each other. They're mortal enemies.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't know if like their stings
like the
work the
Crips
same
and the
way.
Bloods.
You know, I guess. I mean, kind of. Yeah, I guess in a sense. But then again, like wasps,
It's like a gang war, dude.
they're brutal, man. The wasps, that is. I don't have anything to say about the gang war. I don't want to be involved in that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for mentioning it, really. So just move on. But yeah, dude. I mean.
Yo, dude.
It's just crazy to think that like I said,
yo, dude.
yeah, dude. It's so crazy to think that like billionaire. I think that what it's kind of crazy is that like billionaires dying in dumb ways, like swallowing a bee, going to the bottom of the ocean and in a fucking tube and thinking it's gonna work, you know, and you know, being a piece of shit and getting shot in the back of the head. Like it's kind of crazy that like human things happen to these people, and it's just like
there's no remorse.
There's no remorse, which is great because honestly, that I don't think that if anybody deserves it, it's not them. So, but it's just like,
you mean the remorse, not the thing that happened to him?
Yeah, I mean, no, wait, which one?
You said
they don't deserve remorse. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
let's just clarify.
Yeah, unless of course it's like, but then again, name a good billionaire. I think we talked about this I think we talked about this whenever the submarine happened, but it's like name a good one.
We talked about it weeks ago. Like it's you can't you don't become a millionaire by being a good person.
Yeah, give me a
billionaire.
Give me a good billionaire, and I'll change one. It has to be more than one though, because it can't just be one. This doesn't justify all the other billionaires for one guy to be good. You know.
Right. There's always an exception to the rule.
Okay.
Theoretically,
Keanu Reeves becomes a billionaire, I'll give it to him.
I just don't think people understand like how much $1 billion is.
It's too much.
It's
over. It's.
I could not spend it.
Oh, I don't think anybody can really.
Like there's a threshold in which you just become like I just couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine.
We need a picture.
Dude, I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
know
find a
what I did.
picture.
I wouldn't know what to do with $1 million.
I'm gonna find a picture, and it's gonna be a picture of $1 million on one side and $1 billion
Well, you can find
beside
it.
it. And I'm gonna
Yeah, you
put
can
it,
find it
but I'm gonna put it up on the YouTube version. So if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I'll go to the YouTube version for like this second. Like it's like.
I mean, you can literally
minute
Google.
25,
There's all
but-
sorts of like video breakdowns of like what it how like.
And it's insane because it's like $1 million. It's a lot of money to us. You and I get $1 million. We're good. We retire.
Dude,
I'm not
dude,
retired, but like I definitely
I'd
don't have
probably
any debt.
disappear.
Yeah,
I'd disappear.
Absolutely. If you get 100 of those $1 million, I'm done. I don't know what to do. Right? I'm clocking out. I don't have to go to work anymore. I have $100 million. I'm gonna invest at least half of it, if not more, and I'm good. I'm gonna get an annual like 9% return because I'm gonna hire somebody to get me 9% return. 9% on like $50 million. That's an insane amount. I don't have to work ever again in my life. My kids won't have to work. Okay.
But then you're part of the cycle.
You give me
Generational wealth.
$1,000 million for everybody out there. I don't know what I do. Okay, I'm just holding my hands up right now because that's the thing. It's like I'll have this podcast. That's for sure. I'll have this podcast. It'll be the best, the most highest quality production you've ever seen in your life. You know, I'm gonna. Honestly, I'm probably just going to keep doing it myself, though. I'm not going to have anybody edit it. I'm not going to have anybody come in here.
You're going to have a bunch of bots listen to it to feed it to rise on the ranks.
You know that I'm buying as many bot companies as I can to then jack my numbers up. We're going to be better than Joe Rogan, better than the Always Sunny podcast, better than Last Podcast on the Left. We're going to have the numbers.
Dude, we outlasted the Always Sunny podcast. They're not
It's
around
already
anymore.
done, dude?
Dude, they haven't put out a new episode in 4 years.
Let's fucking go, dude. I can't wait
It's
till
like
Joe Rogan quits and we go over Joe Rogan's numbers, dude. Fuck
Yeah, but
him.
I think he has over 1,000 episodes.
It's because he's been doing it since the dawn of man, and like he has like an episode a day where he just drinks creatine. He fucking pumps out an episode where he's talking to some other right wing grifter. I don't know what he's doing nowadays, but that's
Speaking
cool,
of
man. Hey, man, that's cool. B, shouts out to the Bees. Good job, you got one. He probably honestly, it probably was a hit put out by the Bees because he's tired of these fuckers going after their colonies, dude. And he's like, I'm gonna take one for the team, you guys, and fucking went down his throat. Now he's coming out of his asshole. Maybe he's a hero, maybe he not. I don't know, but. Shout out to that bee, you know. I'm okay with that. You're supposed to yes and it. You're supposed to be like, yeah, dude, fuck the
I mean, there's
EV.
nothing more to say. Nothing more to say.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know, the rise in AI in like we did this podcast and there was no AI.
There
And,
was
like,
AI, but it was in video games, and it was like the computers we were fighting.
That was
against,
the
you know what I mean?
artificial intelligence of how they react. They're not
I
like,
missed those.
recreating.
I missed
right.
Yeah.
What we called AI was this actual thing, or like what we referred to as a sentient, like, you know, iRobot AI. You know, oh, we'll never get there. Wrong.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Technically, yeah.
Right, but now we're at this point to just like the I don't even want to like go back and rehash the conversations we've had about like, you know, how morally bankrupt that is in itself, because like AI doesn't exist without the other art that it steals from, specifically like things like Midjourney, right? And then like, you know, we're not really super supporters of corporations here. I don't think that's
What? They're fine.
you know, we try to criticize them all equally, even though like there's different layers of evil there. And so like, you know, some are like, you know, whatever, what do you do? And then some of them are just like, there's so many other options you could do, and you choose to do the worst. But what happens, like, you know, we're all against AI, right? We're all against Midjourney. Like anytime anytime I'm like scrolling an Instagram reel and there's AI, like I know it's AI, I'm done. Like I'll go to the next one. Like
Yeah, it's not content. You're not producing anything worth anything. You're literally like asking a robot, hey, compile a bunch of images and spit out something that's similar to what I want you to make. And that's like, it's just siphoning content and churning it, put it in a blender, giving it to you. You're not doing anything unique. You know?
But what happens when two major corporations decide to team up to then try and take down an AI? What happens then? Because we all know immediately, we're just like, oh, but what's your game here?
I would argue
You're not doing it for, you know, the moral reasoning.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like hypocritical too, no? Because it's like these companies have used the AI that they're now against, right? To generate content for their own benefit. But now that it's like being used to siphon their cash and their content, right? Or copyright or infringe upon their rights or quote unquote rights or whatever, now we have an issue with it. Now, oh, they can't do that. You know?
So the ironic part is Disney is leading the charge with this. It's Disney and Universal, and they have filed a 110-page lawsuit against Midjourney for engaging in calculated and willful copyright infringement.
Okay, but it's not, right? Because it's like
No, but it is.
it's AI, dude. They're not.
Yeah,
they're
but
creating something unique.
and no, they're not. Like, I don't know how Midjourney works because I didn't work it, but from what I understand is you type in a prompt, give me Elsa. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they know what Elsa looks like? They didn't create Elsa.
Yeah, but it's fine, right?
No, it's not. That's
Yeah.
that's what they're saying is like it's not. The lawsuit seeks damages and Midjourney's profits in an amount according to proof, or alternatively statutory damages up to $150,000 per infringed work.
Yeah.
And
But my thing is like, okay, so what? Okay, because it's not Midjourney, right? Midjourney's not the one.
it's the company.
Yeah, but Midjourney's not going and selling the content that they're creating, right? They're not the ones like
You are shaking your camera.
Oh,
dude.
sorry, I put my elbow down on the table. Like, so they're
Earthquake.
They've created the AI, right? But they're not. They are not the ones. Like, they're not slapping Elsa smoking a big blunt on a shirt, right? That would be the end users of Midjourney AI. So it's like, they're going after the wrong person, and I don't think it's going to hold up, because it's like, well, yes, Midjourney created the AI. They're not the ones prompting this Midjourney AI to create the content that's infringing upon what Disney's content, right? So it's like they would have to, like, Disney would have to then go after like Jim in his basement. Yeah, Jim. Shouts out Jim. You look great in that shirt. Quit prompting Midjourney AI to make Elsa smoke a blunt. Okay, it's not cool, buddy. You know, just draw it yourself.
It's funny how things always. It's again like this has nothing to do with the moral reasoning or, oh yeah, yay, good job on you, Disney and Universal. Like, you barely want to pay voice actors, and you barely want to pay anybody.
You're literally using AI to take
cut
voices. To take voices,
but it's
and
okay
make
if they use it to manipulate their products and their IPs, right? It's not okay for Steve and Dave to make a fan made Elsa movie that would probably be better.
I mean,
than
honestly,
whatever slop Disney.
If not better, the exact same of what they're coming out with nowadays. Yeah.
I mean, I listen. First and foremost, I don't support AI. I don't like AI. Call me a fuddy duddy, call me whatever. I'm again, as a person who makes comic books, I do it the legit way. I pay an artist, and we come up with things.
You do it the legit way, and you hope he's not using AI. Okay, you pay an artist, and you hope that it's not. But yeah,
he's not.
I know. I know. He's doing
but
great.
it's just like, I come up with all these ideas in my head, and so like, how like demoralizing it would be for someone to then just take the thing that I worked extremely fucking hard on, and then make a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. But it's like, but to that same token, on the flip side of that, this country was suing teenagers 25 years ago for illegally downloading fucking Metallica songs on Napster, because for the same reason. And what it boiled down to wasn't that you were illegally downloading songs. It was that you weren't paying money.
Yeah, you weren't giving us cash. Like, we don't care if you're using this.
It's all about.
Okay, but pay us.
Yeah, give us me money now. Me now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hard. It's again, that's the hard part of the conversation, because it's like, I don't want to say like, oh, no, AI is fine. You're stupid, because it's like, it's just to go against Disney, but it's like Epic versus Apple all over again, where it's like, it's just two
Disney's always
billionaires
wrong.
going after each other.
If you stand on the principle that Disney is evil and they are wrong, you will be on the right side morally.
Yeah, but I don't want AI
Almost
to win
all the
either.
time.
I don't want AI to be
Correct.
around. So it's
Right.
like,
But the thing is like, even if they take Midjourney, let's just say that Disney wins, and Midjourney has to shut down, you know what's gonna happen?
Midjourney
Disney's
2.
gonna Disney's gonna buy it, and then incorporate it, and you'll never know it.
Yep, I guess that's probably right. They're probably
That's
gonna be
exactly
like,
what's gonna happen.
they'll
So it's like,
profit off of it.
so literally, like we're in which depths of hell do you prefer to be in?
Nothing
is
like
what happened.
nothing like corporate
illusion of
America, you know, and the illusion of freedom and choice. Man, God bless America, baby. This is what our forefathers died for, my guy. This is why we set sail from our good old country of England, and we came here. We put
Scottish for
our
some of us.
sure. We used a lot of different people, a lot of different people to build this country, right? And there were some questionable things we did. Okay, to those said people that we used to build America. But hey, this is why we did it. For billionaire corporations to go after each other and yell at each other about, you stole my pictures. Stop it. Give me money. And that's honestly, happy Juneteenth, everybody. You know?
Oh, is that what it is?
And that's what I'm leading into today. Today is History Hour. Happy Juneteenth to all of our black listeners out there, as well as anybody else celebrating. You know, honestly, I don't think it's exclusive to. Oh, hey Zoe, how's it going? But fun fact, you'll know that I looked up the definition of what Juneteenth was about.
I'm pretty sure we did this last year, but go ahead.
We probably did do this last year, but it's good to have a refresher because I needed a refresher because I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not versed in American history, right?
Are you just going to leave it at American history?
At American history, I guess history in general, black history. I'm not very versed in it as well. I'm sorry. I did not take that course in college. They didn't get me that way. You know, I was apparently indoctrinated in college. They didn't get me with that class, though. I'm sorry, guys. I missed it.
Okay.
But I did a Google search, found the Wikipedia page. Turns out Juneteenth is actually a celebration of when the Emancipation Proclamation finally reached Texas, and they had to enact it. And it was on the 19th of June, like 65? I didn't get the date, the like kind of concrete date. But hell yeah, guys. Fuck yeah. And I'm sure that ended any kind of racism whatsoever, and we haven't had racism since then. But I just hate that it took us until 2021 to fucking make it a federal holiday. It feels weird to me. I don't know about you.
I mean, the company that I work for, it's always been, as long as I've worked there.
Yeah.
I've always had it off. So, you know, but it's not the only holiday this weekend.
What else is going on this weekend? Hi there. You know, June 22nd. It's probably right around the time you're going to be watching this. And for all the YouTube viewers out there, it's a little something special. I just wanted to give a big shout out to the main man behind the show. You know, the big man upstairs, the guy who takes care of all of this. Really, I just want to let him know, happy birthday. And no, I'm not talking about the one you're thinking of. No, I'm talking about the Alex Ozdog 12 Osborne, buddy. Happy birthday. And so, like, as kind of a little, you know, special tribute, I just wanted to, you know, do something that I could do now because I, you know, edit the YouTube version of the podcast and I can add stuff in when I want to. So I just want to let you know, buddy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And so now I'm going to sing the copyrighted song, Happy Birthday to You. Happy birthday to you. I'm going to cut it there probably though. So, yeah, man. Happy birthday, big guy.
It's my birthday.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. Happy birthday to you, dude. It's on my calendar. Don't go. I got it on my calendar, okay? I just haven't got a notification for it yet. So
You'll get it on the day.
yeah, dude, and I'll send you a happy birthday message like I do with everybody else on my phone, okay? Like I already have a hard enough time remembering my family's birthdays, okay?
Dude, birthdays are weird. Or not weird. They're just like hard to remember. Like I have them in my calendar, but I have it to where like it doesn't push it. So if I don't manually look at it, you know, we all got really reliant in the late 2000s before the 2010s on Facebook where it was just like, today is so-and-so's birthday.
Yeah, dude. And it's like they happen every single year. You think I'd remember like what day it was on, but
you know when your wife's is, your kids.
Yeah. Sometimes I have I always have to like remember what day their birthdays are and what year they were born in because it's hard, man. It's hard.
I guess. I mean, I vividly remember. I distinctly remember Zoe's. So it's like I know the time she was born, how much she weighed,
I mean,
the date she was born.
that's crazy, dude. That's an insane amount of like remembering knowledge
It's
there.
not,
That's
dude. It's the
hard.
moment that changed my fucking life, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Sure. Not my like not Zoe's birth. Yeah, it changed my
Right.
life. I'm not like
Speaking of things that sort of like you ever come across something that was a terrible transition, I'm sorry. You ever come across something randomly and you find it and you're just like, damn, it like kicks you in the nostalgia. Like it just like really hits you hard. So I posted it in the Discord and I sent it in a group chat, but like I found my old ticket to The Dark Knight that I saw in IMAX in Chantilly, Virginia, which is right outside of DC. And like I just looking at the ticket is crazy. First of all, because it was $12.50 to
that's the
see an
that's the
IMAX
craziest
movie
part. Yeah.
to see an IMAX movie in 2008 in DC at the Smithsonian Museum,
Yeah. Which I
which
thought it was
is
just a museum. I didn't realize they had a theater in there. That's crazy.
oh yeah, dude. Well, crazy enough, shout out to Mike. He ended up seeing a movie there too, almost like 20 years later at that point, or whatever. A couple of years ago, he went and saw a movie, a different Batman movie. But like, the ticket, like, I was just sitting there looking at it, and it just like flooded back all of these memories, and like, I could pinpoint where I was in life, and it was almost 20 years ago when you think about it.
Yeah, 3 years. It will have been 20 years ago.
Yeah, so 17 years ago, like I could pinpoint exactly like how I felt, what I was going through, like what was going on in life. It's 2008, so I've completed
Housing market just crashed. Yeah.
I've completed 1 year of college,
Yeah.
so I'm
Okay.
no longer a freshman. I got over the hump of like a lot of my freshman year, like I wanted to move back home because I was alone. Like not only did I talked about like I spent a lot of my childhood like being alone and by myself and stuff, but once I got my group of friends and stuff in high school, which a lot of them I still talk to, it's like I moved away from all of them. And then like I moved off to college to a completely new city where I knew nobody, no one. You know what I mean? So completely alone, which is also why I love BioShock so much and Uncharted because like those are the two things that just like kind of like kept me sane, you know? But like I got over that hump of wanting to move back and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna push through, right? And then I get a job when I get back. I start working at GameStop, but like just where I was at that point, like I still had I had a really good relationship with both of my parents, which I don't now.
Damn, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that's also before that's like before Christina.
That's crazy time, man.
And like what Christina was talking about the other day, like we've been together it'll be 14 years in December. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been married 11, but we've been together 14. We started dating in 2010. So like it's very rare that I can think back on like the before times because I feel like I've been with Christina for forever. We've
Yeah,
been
I
together
mean,
for
like,
a long time.
trying to think. I'm trying to do the math in my head because it's like me and Shelby got together when I was 21. Like I just turned 21, or I was about to turn 21. So like when I turn
So it'd be 2013.
roughly, yeah, and because we got married like 2 years later. No, because we
When did
got
you get married?
married in 2015.
That's 2 years later.
Yeah, but it's
You got
like
together in 2013. You got
think,
married in
hold on.
2015.
trying to think. Okay, I don't remember, but
Your 10-year anniversary is this year.
yes,
Yeah, you're a year behind me in marriage, but you're 2 years behind me in terms of how long you've been together.
I think
Something
so.
like that.
Yeah, something around there.
December 10th, 2010 is when Christina and I started dating.
Damn, dude. We started dating December 31st. 30, yeah, is it 31st? Yeah, there's a 31st in December, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's
New
my
Year's
brother's
Eve.
birthday. That's when we started dating. So,
Which is funny because you stole her from him.
I mean, it's up for debate, but but nonetheless, yeah,
But
'cause I was
like,
thinking, like it's here in like the near future, very near future, like you guys and me and Shelby will have been together longer than we were apart, right? Does that make sense?
mm-hmm.
Because like we'll have spent like literally like half of our lives together. I keep shaking my fucking
40. Yeah, you do. 41.
Yeah. Roughly. It's like around there in the 40s. When we're in our 40s, we'll have spent more time together than we spent apart from each other. And that's like insane to think about, like spending that much time with a person.
Yeah, something like that.
That's crazy. But yeah, shouts out to you guys too, you know, and happy birthday.
Yeah, but the whole, that wasn't like a whole, but it was just more so like how one little ticket can just like flood all the memories. Like I just rode that nostalgia wave for like a good 20 minutes when I found it. I guess it was Monday I saw it. I was just like, damn. And I just like sit there and like, like literally disassociated from my body and shit. And just like thought about, like went into my brain and just thought about like what life was like.
It's gotta be nice.
I mean, yeah, it was. Cause like nostalgia is crazy, man. And just like, we always, you don't realize it when you're, as you're getting older, but like we just like long for those things. I saw a joke the other, not a joke, but someone tweeted, it was like, man, I wish I was still addicted to WoW now, like I was 10 years ago, because there's never been a better time to wake up, grind for 14 hours, and then go to bed and repeat that for 3 months.
Until like
then right now.
And then hopefully it goes away, everything.
Yeah.
So, no, yeah, dude. I mean, that was, I mean, there's I mean, obviously I have memory issues, but it's like, I mean, there's a few things that would bring nostalgia, but it's like that it's a hell of a drug, dude. You know, just being able to remember things and like go and like being able to like jump back into that point in your life, dude. Man, that'd be crazy. I remember the first time playing WoW and like downloading it, and it taking forever because, you know, you're on this old ass computer, had dial-up internet, and it's like, but just once you got it installed, like I remember just grinding away like for hours.
Because
like,
I mean,
again, like 6
this-
a.m. You know,
20 years ago, that game was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why everyone got so addicted to it.
Yeah, dude. And it's crazy that it's still around and it hasn't like it's. I mean, it has ups and downs obviously, but it's still like chugging along.
But I think you're a good, like not necessarily a good case study, but like you're a case study for like you've dabbled back in a couple times. Like you kicked the addiction, you quit.
Yeah, I just can't get back into it now. It's like I keep trying, but it's like meh. Yeah, man. I'll watch the YouTube videos on the lore and like it'll be all right, you know.
Well, it's like you said the other day. You're like, man, I wish we could bottle up that first like year of Hunt Showdown, and like inject it and keep living off that, because like
that's the future. That's the future of VR right there. Is like being able to take those core memories in your brain and put them on repeat. Yeah.
But honestly, man, like again, I don't want to romanticize like COVID, but it was like crazy. Like it's just. That was so long ago.
Yeah, if you could get past everybody dying and shit, like
and sickness and masks,
it was awesome, dude. It was fucking so sick because you didn't have to worry about going places. You didn't have to worry about doing things. Everybody had to stay away from you. That was great, dude. Everybody was washing their hands. You get to wear a mask anytime you wanted to, right? This is such a crazy time.
You got into things. You had you actually had time to commit to things.
Like, and like the best of all is like that's when my job went to work from home, and I literally got my dream job. It was just like being able to work from home, dude.
The thing that I appreciate the most, and it's sort of I've talked several times about how like I understand why people like want to live out, you know, on a farm like Ben does, or like, you know, they don't want to, they want to slow life down, because the older you get, it gets, you know, it's like a candle, right? It just, every time you light it, you know, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. That's life. Because like everything's slowed down.
Yeah.
And like, I am forever chasing that. Like, that's what I'm chasing.
Deep, dude. Yeah.
Like that, I want this, because like not only did I'm again like I had, you know, we had two different dogs and they both died because they were old, but like we got to be at home and take care of them, and Zoe was little, so I got all of this extra time with my daughter that I would not have gotten otherwise.
Yeah, like the family dynamic changed a shit ton whenever like COVID happened, because it's like it either was for the better or for the worse. It's like some people went crazy. God damn, I can't stand. I don't understand how the teachers do this. Like we started to realize, like, oh, teachers fucking go through a lot having to take care of my shithead kid. But at the same time, it's like people like us, where we just got to spend a plethora of time with our kids, because like taking care of him at home, and like, you got to figure out things to do, and it's like
you get to watch them grow up.
yeah, dude, it was so much fun, man. I mean, some of the best days that I can remember, like the early days of COVID, was like dancing around in the bedroom with Quinn, tossing music on, because it's like, you try to entertain him, but it's just like, hey, shit, let's just toss on some random headbanging music and like jump around in our diapers, dude. We both wearing diapers at the time. It's pretty sick. COVID was a crazy time, but yeah, it's just like that ability to slow down and honestly have an excuse for not having to leave the house and just fucking living your life, So I get it.
Yeah.
But
we forgot to talk about it last week, but there was another in-flight incident a couple of weeks ago.
Let's go.
About a month ago. This is on the date's not on here. May 25th. An ex-flight attendant was caught smuggling 100 pounds of a new deadly drug. She will face up to 25 years in a Sri Lankan prison.
What's 100 pounds in kilos?
Oh, you asking me or you asking?
That's 45 kilograms, my friend.
Okay, so
for the
45
other
kilograms.
or metric system people out there.
Gotcha. Now, what, you pray tell, was she smuggling? It's this new drug. Yeah, I said that. Made out of human bones.
That's. I kind of want to know what it does.
She was arrested in Sri Lanka after carrying a suitcases full of Kush. Kush I always thought was just like a
weed,
nickname,
dude.
slang word for for weed. It's a new drug originating in the West Africa, which kills an estimated dozens of people per week. It doesn't say she's being held in the harshest conditions of jail. It has a street value of $3.3 million in her suitcase alone.
Damn, dude.
It was the biggest seizure of the new drug in Sri Lankan history.
Cause individuals to fall asleep while walking, collapse unexpectedly, and even wander into moving traffic. It feels like if you're going to do this drug, just don't do it next to a highway, I would assume.
Yeah.
Or like while you're going to do
turns you
anything.
into like a zombie.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just.
I mean, kudos to her, I guess.
Not really, dude. Her life is over, dude.
Yeah, you fucked it up. Maybe you don't do that. She did.
Like, her life is over, bro.
Okay. Granted, she was caught with $3.3 million worth of a new drug, right? But what is to say that they really didn't plant it on her? You know what I mean? Because that was her excuse. It's like, hey, I don't know who put this here. This ain't mine. And like,
wouldn't you say the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Because I honestly, somebody probably did plant it. If you catch me with $3.3 million worth of a new drug, you know that I didn't bring it. Because I'm not gonna be caught with that kind of anxiety, dude. Fucking, I don't want anything to do with this. That's not my suitcase. Okay.
It's like she picked up the wrong suitcase.
Yeah, and it's like.
It's one of the. It's like an accidental swap. Like they both sit down on a bench, or they both sit down at the terminal.
Yeah, and it's like oopsie daisy. I picked up your suitcase. You picked up mine. Like, yours is filled with drugs, and mine's filled with lingerie. Crazy. Like, this is so crazy. It like pops open, like spilling out everywhere. Like, oh no,
wild and crazy.
Yeah, but what if she's telling the truth? What if they did plant it on her?
Yeah, but like, she's a woman and she's a young woman, and she's in Sri Lanka.
She's a pretty lady. She's a pretty lady. Thailand.
I don't know. The odds are stacked against her.
A little bit, yeah. But then again, it's like, where did you get fucking $3.3 million? Hey, 100
drug runner.
100 pounds.
But again, she's the perfect person to do it because she's a flight attendant.
Okay.
And they get to skip security.
In the same vein, it's like she's confident enough to transport 100 pounds of a drug.
That was not. Hey, I got news for you. That wasn't her first time.
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's no way. Like if it isn't, okay, I'm pleading the fifth here because what is the term? Like, what is that term?
Pleading the
like,
fifth means you're not talking.
Okay, the one where it's like innocent until proven guilty, my friend. Okay, innocent until proven. I'm the full fact.
I don't think that works in Sri Lanka. I think it's innocent. I think it's guilty.
Did she get arrested?
I
thought she got arrested here. Was she arrested here or
in London? Right.
In London.
No, she was
okay. Oh, okay. Well, they have different rules anyway. So yeah, fuck them. I don't know. Their slang's probably like, we got you, you know,
Isn't it?
isn't it? It sucks, isn't it? You know, it's a real bugger, isn't it? You know, fucking got it, dude. I fucking crush British accents, dude. I crush them all the time. But yeah, dude, it's definitely not her first. It's not her first go around.
No.
And if you're confident enough to bring 100 pounds of a new drug in your suitcase, and your only excuse is like, that ain't mine. I don't even know. They must have planted that. That's not your first time. This is like your 70th time. You're a Gold Star employee at this point, you know. So
We talked last week about things that were legal but felt illegal. And in a surprise, we are going to follow up with this suggestion of our own making, was that we should talk about things that are illegal that should be legal.
wait,
And I know what,
we talked about things that are legal.
but should be or felt like they were illegal.
Legal. Okay.
And this week, we're
okay.
talking about things that are
Illegal.
illegal that should be legal. And because the doubters, of which there are very many, thought there's no way they're going to remember to do this because
Yeah.
we are the bare minimum podcast.
I definitely didn't do it backwards. I definitely didn't think that we did it the other way around. But yeah, I did it right.
Last week, okay,
Yeah, okay.
just for clarity, last week it was things that were completely legal
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
that felt illegal,
Yes.
right? And then this week we were like, oh, we should talk about the things that are considered illegal but should be legal.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. I'm gonna improv this bit because I had the wrong answers. But
Okay, well, no, you didn't.
yeah, because I put things that are legal but should be illegal, right? Because I had it in my head that we did it the other way around last week. So I put healthcare companies because those definitely should be illegal. As far as charging money for medication that's literally life essential, like insulin, etc.
Yeah,
and
you said
billionaires.
billionaires.
Yeah. Yeah, so this week
you also said charging money for medication.
Yeah, and this week we're doing the opposite of that. So things that are illegal but should be legal. Okay, I got it.
First one, weed.
Yeah, obviously that was my I think I'm more liberal here. I think all drugs should be legal.
I don't.
I think all drugs should be legal, and then
No, because that is a very dark path.
we work. But if you make them legal, then we can then work to getting resources to people who are doing the harder drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's illegal, you then have to like basically prosecute those people that are doing like the hard stuff like heroin and whatnot, and then like they don't get treatment because it's like that's an illegal substance. You can't do research on them and stuff like that. There's research grants and whatnot. You can't figure out how to like help people.
So now you're rewarding people for making bad choices.
No, but it's like when you stigmatize it by making it illegal, they don't feel incentivized or like they can go and get help, because then it's like if I go and say, hell, I do heroin, I'm gonna get fucking locked up because like most chances are I have heroin, right? But if you make it legal, that also like it's like one of those things, man. If you make it legal, people aren't gonna want to do it. You know, the whole reason people want to do drugs is because they're illegal. You know, I'm obviously being that there's more to it, obviously.
That is an appeal when you're younger, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think make them all illegal.
I mean,
except for like maybe like crocodile, I guess. Get rid of that one. That's the one that
like
kills people.
Tax it and shit.
I guess maybe get rid of the bone dust one too. That fucking you walking into traffic. Like yeah, you can get rid of that one too. I guess.
It's illegal. I think prostitution.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like sex work should be fucking legal. I don't understand like why it's not. It's a business, just like.
But like I think like OnlyFans is not illegal.
But and that's what I'm saying.
Porn is not illegal.
And that's technically speaking, that's sex work. Yeah.
But prostitution.
Yeah.
The soliciting of sex.
Bring back brothels, man. Not that I wouldn't go to a brothel, but I'm just saying bring it back. Why not?
Illegal.
Because again, it's like this. It's the same vein where like you make it legal, they're allowed to like then have certain protections and whatnot, and like you could have healthcare and have benefits and whatnot. But
I can't verify this with 100% certainty, and I think I've told you this, and I may have talked about it on this podcast. But like up until like even when I was in college, they didn't like on my campus there were no sorority houses. Because
they're like deemed brothels, weren't they? Like or something like that.
Because any more than 6 women in a house is deemed a brothel.
That's great.
And now
It's
it
like,
has
okay, so what about
that's been
the
changed, but that's been changed. That's no
yeah?
longer a law in our state
What
anymore.
about that family that had
But
like
it was.
20 kids and like there had to be at least 6 of them that were chicks, right? You know, so like
That's different. That's different. These are unmarried
yeah, but I'm just saying
legal
like
females.
okay, but then
I'm just saying that was a
yeah,
law that was enacted
yeah.
in 1827 and
Oh,
just
that's another thing we should do one year is like take a look at all the dumb laws that exist.
dude,
We
there's a
probably
lot.
have, but
I think another thing that is completely illegal that should be legal is bringing beverages through airport security. You cannot. They will not let you.
that I mean
You
like
know,
that should be legal, but at the same time, I understand why it's not legal
it
considering
was
like
legal, dude. It was legal before 9/11.
yeah, this 9/11 changed everything, dude. I don't know how to explain this to you, but like
One thing,
yeah,
one thing.
unfortunately, like 9/11 fucked everything up. You know what I mean? Like we remember how
Yeah,
like lax. I don't remember because I didn't fly, but I would assume that it was very like weird experience to just
I
go
just
through an
think it's
airport.
very weird. I get it. I do. I get it. But it's only a certain amount of liquid because you can have travel size, but you can't have a bottle of water.
I think that it should be legal if they sell it in the airport. Because then it's like you're literally like creating your own monopoly where like people have to purchase your drink. People have to purchase your water. Now, if you want to do it for national security, I get it, okay? But
But
then
you
don't
can, but
sell it.
you can bring in a water. You can bring in like one of these, like an Awala or whatever, but it has to be empty, and it has to be in your backpack. 'Cause they can then fill up at a water fountain.
Okay, I mean,
Because
yeah.
like our airport has the purified water fountain that you stick your bottle in there.
I just don't understand. I don't get somebody airplane experts out there explain it to me like why the liquid thing is a thing. You know, air
I mean,
conditioner.
you
I think
could
it's like
Google
hair
it.
conditioner too, right? You can't bring like shampoos and hair conditioner. It has to be a
You
travel
can't
size or
bring
whatever.
anything over a travel size
Okay,
on your carry-on, but you can have all of that in your fucking suitcase.
that's that's weird. You know, that's like
Again,
I don't know, man. Again, 9/11 changed everything. That's it sucks, but
yeah.
I get it. But it's like think about that,
Um,
man. Like one. Was that the only time that there was ever like a plane attack, right? Like that they took over planes.
well,
It's
there's
like that's.
DB Cooper.
I mean, I guess if you think. I mean, that's the thing, dude. It's like he never did anything to the plane. He was just like, give me the money and fucking get off the plane. You know, like.
I mean, I
And then
think
he jumped out
it
of the
was definitely
plane.
the most famous for sure.
9/11 or DB Cooper.
9/11. You
Oh,
never
okay.
forget, dude.
Yeah, I never forget DB Cooper, man. It's crazy. That's a crazy story. But yeah, 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 I'll give you that one. I like that one.
Going topless.
Oh, the hell yeah, dude. Fucking, I'm all for it, bud. And not just because of boobies, but because we need to normalize like seeing boobies and like getting and breastfeeding and whatnot. And it's like this whole like Nancy Pansy clutch pearl clutching that happens.
But then they can't sell it.
Yeah, you can, dude. Boobs are always gonna sell. It doesn't matter like if you make them legal out in public or not, dude. It's always gonna sell. Boobs always sell. Boobs are cool. Boobs are great. And it's like it's so stereotypical. It's like how many times you been oogling a dude's chest, dude? It's the same thing, man.
Literally never.
All the time, bud. You gotta respect it. This guy's worked on it. He wants somebody to look at that physique. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you're that guy.
exactly, dude. Fucking stare away. As long as it's not like
Fucking-
staring in jest and you're like laughing at me. Don't do that. That's mean.
It's like that guy last week that just stared at you.
Was there a guy staring?
Remember the guy literally staring at somebody for long periods of time is not illegal.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like,
The,
it's
the
just-
hypothetical scenario. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, that was a weird case. That was like he was just doing it to piss me off. So
But it wasn't real. I made it up.
I know, but it felt real, and it felt like something that could happen to me. So I took it personally.
I know, and you're like, he's like, you should be thrown in jail for staring at me.
Yeah, and I took that personally.
Yeah, you did. Jaywalking.
Why is that illegal? I guess it's for safety, like they hit people with cars and shit like that. But it's like honestly, survival of the fittest fits here, where it's like if somebody's jaywalking and they get hit by a car, it's own fucking fault. Like
If
why
you
is
don't
this?
look, yeah, if you don't look both ways,
Yeah, dude.
it's on you, bud.
But it's okay if somebody smokes himself to death, drinks himself to death. But no, but God forbid they fucking walk in the middle of the two red lights. Ugh.
But like, there is always in the back of my mind when like the sign says don't walk, right? But like I'll look, and if there's nobody coming, like I'll go. If it's just me, I'm going for sure. But like
Like-
if Christina's with me or Zoe's with me, I won't go.
I
But like,
yeah.
I will look to see if there's a cop around.
I think if you're walking, totally fine to ignore the signs. But if you're like at a red light and you look around, don't run the red light. I mean, it's not.
If there's no cars,
I can't do it, man. I've had people do it beside me in the morning.
because
It's
you're indoctrinated not to do
it's
it.
4:30 a.m. in the morning, right? And it's like I'm sitting there at the red light, and it's one of those red lights that just like stays red forever, and there's nobody even on the fucking
I'm running.
thing.
I'd run it.
People do that all the time beside me. I'm just like, I'm glad you feel that confident, pal,
The
but I
donut
don't.
shop that I go to, close to my house where
Yeah.
the Home Depot is.
Yes.
And the Aldi.
Yeah, yeah.
Across the street is the donut place.
That
That
red
red
light-
light fucking sucks.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And when I go get donuts, I will get skipped so many times. I'll run it. I'll just run it. I don't care.
That is, I will give you the benefit of that there because it's one of those where like the red light out by our house used to be really bad. Where like if you didn't blow on the sensor just right, you would never get a green arrow. And there's been plenty of times where that's like not turned green. And I say fuck it. I don't care if like I just run
we'll
it.
need to get into the research of this. I know it's a dirty word, research, but like how many red lights are sensor based versus how many are timed?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like there aren't very many that are sensor based anymore.
We need to branch
I feel like
out.
I feel like they're programmed per traffic pattern.
I think we need to branch out and let's make this like a 2026 thing. We branch out and we start getting like random people from like infrastructure on the podcast, right? Give me like a road specialist. Give me
We can't even procure a witch we've been trying to get for 3 years.
Yeah, but I feel like those people would be more apt to come on because like nobody ever wants to listen to them, and it's like I want to listen to you. You know what I mean? Like I want to have a good time with you. Any witches out there? Still, we're taking applications by all means. Like we're still we got October coming up in 4 months. You know, so
Piracy.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, yeah. It's just like because it's stupid that it's not legal. You know what I mean? Like
it's morally gray. Like what are we pirating? Are we just illegally downloading a movie? Is anyone really getting harmed? I don't know.
No.
I obviously can only talk about it in a personal standpoint because like if I've downloaded, there are times where I've downloaded something or I've read something or watched something or listened to something and I liked it so much that I bought it. Because like piracy back then when we were in college is no different than what streaming is now.
Yeah.
But
it's
now
again they can make money off of it now.
Yeah, that's
and I think that if we bring piracy back, I think that you're only allowed the quality in which it is being pirated. You can't. I'm talking like companies can't go and sell the final product. Like we can't have any 4K versions of the product. It can only be 360p versions of movies. The audio quality's got to be terrible on anything being pirated.
Why? No, now you're putting parameters on piracy. That's no longer piracy. I think the entire point of piracy is taking what's not yours.
Yeah, but I don't think that it should be good quality. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because then I feel like you are taking. You know what I mean? Like
that's the point of piracy, dude.
that's fine, I guess. You know, I'd allow it. Piracy's fine. I don't
You
care.
don't give a shit.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I really don't care. But
You don't give a shit. You
honestly,
you used to do it.
oh yeah, I think
Pirate
they can't
Baby.
prove that I did it because this is a comedy podcast, anyways, and it could be just a joke that I'm telling. But yeah, I definitely pirated some books back in the day, dude. Fucking audiobooks didn't matter. I've definitely pirated a few copies of Windows 10. You know what I mean? See, I added the wink in there. Everybody out there listening, because now, am I telling the truth? Am I not? Who knows? You know?
Is it pirated if it is the test version and then you just
No, I mean like legitimately.
and then someone else
downloaded.
buys you a $5 key?
Yes, technically speaking, but
Is that
also shouts out Ryan. Thank you so much for the key. I didn't know that you can get a cheap key out there, but hey, and my computer still hasn't been hacked, so thank you.
This is the one that gets me the most, and it's not stopping completely at a stop sign. It is illegal to not come to a complete
It's a
stop.
California style, buddy.
Motherfucker, if there are no cars coming, it's a yield.
Yeah, that sign turns
And
into
I
a
will-
yield pretty quick.
I
yeah.
will die on that hill. I have gotten a ticket for that before.
I have as well, man. I have as well. It's so funny.
My last week at the place we used to work, dude.
Oh, that one. That's a fucking bitch ass place too. From what I understand, is like that was where everybody, or cop was always sitting.
Have I ever told you this story?
I feel like you have, but I don't remember it very well.
So I the last week of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm already not giving a fuck.
yeah.
And like that same thing. I worked there for what 4 years or whatever it was,
Mhm.
and I almost and left. If there was no cars coming, I'm going.
Yeah. Why would you
If there's
wait?
cars come, why would I wait for the fucking 37,000 cars that are coming? Right?
Yeah.
Anywho, Anyways, I ran it and I got pulled over. I got a ticket, and then I started this job that I'm at now.
I have heard this story. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. Go
And I
ahead, keep
wrote a
going.
check. I wrote a check, and I sent it to that county's like courthouse.
Yeah.
But I put the wrong address on it, and it took like weeks, not days, weeks to get back to me.
Yeah.
So much so that I had to. I've only been at this job for like a week, and I was like, I have to go. Like, I gotta leave because
I have a warrant out for my arrest currently.
I literally thought that I was gonna have someone come get me, and then like the lady she was all like, "Oh, you were cutting it close. You were about to revoke your license." And I was like, I was like, yeah, but like I kind of paid it like months ago. She's like, well, this sounds like your fault. You put the wrong address. I'm like, I mean, yes,
I feel like it's this.
but also,
It's like, ma'am, can we just both agree that this is a failure of the U.S. postal system? Is what that.
well, I mean, it was my fault. I guess. At the end
I
of the
say
day,
return it faster, honestly. So
that was my aggravation. I was like, I don't understand why it took so long. It doesn't matter, regardless of the fact.
Yeah.
I paid it. I staved off the wolves. You know, I
they
didn't
had
get
like
my
a
license
SWAT
or-
team ready to go. We were in the briefing room. They had
Well,
your face up on a board.
She even told me, she's like, oh, like you're on the docket for Monday, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, dude, they
What?
they were about to have the judge sign the warrant.
What? Over a stop sign?
That is, yeah, that honestly, if that isn't just the U.S. justice system, buddy, at its finest, you know, gonna come shoot somebody because they fucking ran a stop sign and they didn't pay their ticket. So
The last two that I have sort of go hand in hand, and it is illegal to be homeless, right?
that was mine. You stole mine from last week, dude.
No, it's on there. Homelessness is illegal. And on top of that, sleeping in your car is apparently very illegal in the United States, but not anywhere else in the world.
Why is that illegal to sleep in my own fucking car? Oh, that is. Oh man, I'm gonna get unhinged.
From the very, very brief research I saw, or like comments, is that considered research?
Yep. Who fucking cares, honestly?
Anyways, someone had said that, and then like there was a bunch of people from other countries like that's not that. Why is that illegal? And they're like, well, it's illegal in the United States, and it apparently stems from MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and like there was this whole thing where you basically, it's the fucked up part is it's illegal if the keys are in the vehicle. It's not illegal if the keys are outside of the car.
So if you want to go to sleep in your car, put them on the hood or the roof. But then you get carjacked, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, but like I'm not sleeping in my car without the AC on, dude. I'm gonna get hot.
You roll down the windows. You'll be fine.
Then someone will murder you.
Maybe. But you're sleeping in your car. I don't think you care much. So
Dude, before COVID, I would take naps in my car at lunch.
yeah, I would too. Yeah.
That's illegal, dude.
I've broken the law a few times. So that's insane to me, man. That makes me angry because it's like, what? Okay. Obviously, there's probably like gray areas, right? Like, can I sleep in my car in my driveway? Like, why would that be illegal? You know what I mean? Like
Private property.
Yeah, but it's my property.
That's why it's not illegal.
Okay, that's fair.
Because you are on private property where your office was. That's not your property. Therefore, the law is different.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah, I mean but it's still so stupid. It's like let people sleep in their cars. Homelessness should not be illegal. Like it should be illegal to be homeless, especially like whenever you don't provide the resources in which people.
It should not be illegal to be homeless.
That's what I'm saying. Like it should not be.
You
illegal.
said it should be illegal.
No, I meant to say it should not be illegal. Sorry, buddy.
I was
all those homeless
clarifying.
people listening right now, but fucking tear me to shreds, dude. And honestly, if you are homeless with this podcast, I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome. This is entertainment.
No, but I mean, like, if they're, it's not awesome. They're homeless, dude. Fucking heartless piece of shit over here, man.
You were talking about sorry because you're listening to the podcast.
Oh no, this podcast is great, and it's probably bringing you a lot of joy and taking your mind off the fact that you're homeless. But we should probably stop bringing out the fact that you are homeless. That way, you can take your mind off of it fully. So we'll say Happy Juneteenth.
What's more important, Juneteenth or my birthday?
Oh man, that's put me on a hard spot, dude. Like that's fucked. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to end the podcast on this? Huh? Now people are gonna be, if I say your birthday, okay, now I'm instantly a racist. Sick. But if I say Juneteenth, now I'm just a horrible best friend. And which one do I want to happen more? I don't want to be a racist, but also I don't want to be a bad friend. A really cool way to end the podcast, honestly.